Hey everybody, this is Steph Page here with SMP TV and Truth for Thursday, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. Um, I've been thinking a lot lately about a huge lesson that I learned a few years ago that was just implanted in my heart that just keeps coming back over and over and over again. I just want to share it with you. And it's about how God cares about the individual personal person. He is someone who attracted the multitudes. When Jesus was on earth, there's so many passages in the New Testament about how Jesus spoke to the multitudes, and there are thousands and thousands of people that he ministered to and fed a few times, and all of those things. And he loved the multitudes. And if anyone could attract a crowd, it was Jesus. And he ministered in crowds for sure. But he didn't just minister in crowds, and he didn't just work in huge, large numbers. He cared about the individual person. How many times do we see him talking to just his 12 disciples and just pouring into them? I can't help but think about the woman who had the bleeding disease, and she touched Jesus and he felt the power go from her because he knew that she was there needing him. And the woman at the well, he specifically took the time to talk just to her. And there's a passage I want to read, and it's from Matthew 9, starting at verse 35, and it says, Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." This gets me kind of teary-eyed because I feel like he's still saying this to us. He's saying, I see the multitudes. I see the people. I see them, and my heart breaks. My heart breaks. God's saying my heart breaks for these people because they need me, and I came to this world so that they could know me and they could have life and they wouldn't need to be lost and wandering like sheep without a shepherd. But now it's up to you to show these people me. It's up to me and it's up to you to show everyone in our lives Jesus. And you know what? Sometimes we think that we have to have lots of people in one place, or we have to have a huge crowd, but that's not how God works all the time. He is so individual and he is so personal, and he created every person. He wants every person to come to this knowledge of who he is and to come to this saving knowledge of what a relationship with him is really like. And you know what? He chooses to work through you and I. That's how he chooses to reveal himself, is through you and I. And our job as his disciples, just like here in Matthew, his disciples are to go and be the workers in the harvest field. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And I'm crying out today to the workers. I'm crying out that you will ask God, and I will feel impressed upon my heart to ask the Lord, who do you need me to see today? Who do you need me to love today? Who do you need me to encourage today? Who needs to know you today? Who needs to know your truth today? Who needs to know your promises today? One person at a time. God sees the individual person. He sees them and his heart breaks. He has compassion on them. And he says to us, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Who is going to come and work in my harvest field? Are you? Are you going to come? Are you going to do it? I have such a passion and such a heart for people to know God. And if you've been watching SMP TV at all, you know that, because I talked about it the very first one. If you haven't, if this is your first SMP TV Truth for Thursday that you watched, I invite you to head over to my YouTube channel and watch the rest of them. But my heart with putting these videos out and doing these short little devotionals is that people will know God. So one thing that you can do to spread, the truth of the Lord and of what he's saying is by just sharing this video. And I don't want to try and toot my own horn. That's so not what I'm doing right now. I am just totally dependent on the Lord, and I just humble myself before him, and I'm just using my gift to reach out. So if you are on Facebook watching this, or if you want to embed it into a blog or a website, or share it on Twitter, or share it on Facebook, or like it on Facebook, people need to know that God sees them. People need to know that he has compassion on them and he loves them and he has a plan for them. So if maybe you're somebody who doesn't know about God, maybe you're watching this, you're like, what is this? I've never heard this side of who God is before. He loves you, He sees you, He has compassion on you, and He wants to know you. And you cry out to Him, and you ask Him to forgive you and that you want to follow Him. He will. It's as simple as that. Go be the workers in the harvest field. Pray today, seek the Lord today on who He wants you to speak about Him to. He does the work. He will work through you. He wants to use you. Are you available? Are you the harvest? Are you going to be harvesters? Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you next time.